Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel and I'm here with McLeod Farms. Welcome to our virtual pumpkin field trip. We know school looks a little bit different for everybody this year, but we thought that we would bring our pumpkin patch to your classroom. We miss all of you guys on the farm, but this is the closest that we could get to bringing, again, our pumpkin patch to your school. So today we're going to learn a few things about pumpkins. I'm going to read a story about how pumpkins are grown from little tiny seeds into big orange pumpkins. We're also going to talk a little bit about some things that we do here at McLeod Farms. And then, of course, we have to go out on the wagon and visit the pumpkin patch as well. So the first thing that we're going to do is start with our book. So I read this book on almost every field trip that comes to our farm. It's called From Seed to Pumpkin. When spring winds warm the earth, a farmer plants hundreds of pumpkin seeds. Every pumpkin seed can become a baby pumpkin plant. Underground, covered with dark, moist soil, the baby plants begin to grow. As the plants get bigger, the seeds crack open, stems sprout up, roots dig down. Inside the roots are tubes. Water travels up these tubes the way juice goes up a straw. In less than 2 weeks from planting time, green shoots poke up through the earth. These shoots grow into tiny seedlings. 2 leaves called seed leaves uncurl on each stem. They reach up towards the sun. Sunlight gives these leaves energy to make food. Like us, plants need food to grow, but green plants do not eat food as we do. Their leaves make their food. To make food, plants need light, water, and air. The leaves catch the sunlight, the roots soak up the rainwater, and little openings in the leaves let the air in. Using energy from the sun, the leaves mix the air with the water from the soil to make sugar. This feeds the plant. Does anybody know what this process is called? I'm going to stop here. Do you know what that process is called? If you said photosynthesis, you are right. Soon, broad prickly leaves with jagged edges unfold on the stems. The seed leaves drop down. Now the new leaves make food for the pumpkin plant. Each pumpkin stem has many sets of tubes. One tube in each set takes water up from the soil to the leaves so they can make sugar. The other tube in each set sends food back down so the pumpkin can grow. The days get warmer. The farmer tends the pumpkin patch to keep the weeds out. Weeds take water from the soil. Pumpkin plants need that water to grow. Pumpkin plants don't stand up tall. As the stems grow longer and longer, they sprawl out all over the ground. Before long, twisted, tangled vines cover the pumpkin patch. Soon, flower buds appear on the vines. After each bud opens, its orange petals grow bigger and bigger. They look like bright orange umbrellas. When we visit the pumpkin patch, you'll actually see lots and lots of flowers. I'll point one out to you. During the heat of the day, the flowers close. They open again during cool nights and early mornings. The bright orange flowers attract swarms of bees. These bees buzz about carrying yellow pollen from the male flowers to the female flowers. Now pumpkins can grow. The petals will wither away. Where the flowers bloom, tiny hard fruits begin to grow. Hundreds of these cling to the vines. The days grow hot. All summer, the warm sun and the cool rain help the tiny fruits grow larger and larger. Does anybody spot a pumpkin in that patch? There's one right there and there. They're still green. Soon summer is over. The corn stalks next to the pumpkin patch turn brown. Leaves on the trees turn red, orange, and yellow. Pumpkins change color too. As they ripen, they change from green to yellow to orange. In just 4 months, small, flat, white pumpkin seeds have grown into big, fat, orange pumpkins. The pumpkins are ripe and round with lumps and bumps. They come in all shapes and sizes, and they're waiting in the autumn sun. Some pumpkins will be carved into jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween. Some will be baked into pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving. Colorful leaves turn brown, winter winds begin to blow, and soon the trees are bare. The farmer looks out over the pumpkin patch where only a few dead vines remain. But when spring winds warm the earth, once again he will plant hundreds of pumpkin seeds, and once again they will grow from seed to pumpkin. The end. Thank you guys so much for listening as I read one of my favorite books, From Seed to Pumpkin. So next I'm going to talk about a few things that McLeod Farms does here whenever we plant our pumpkin patch. Here at McLeod Farms, we grow lots and lots of things. Most people know us for our peaches, strawberries, blackberries, even pumpkins. But we have things like field corn, sweet corn, peas. We even grow cotton, peanuts, and soybeans. So it is a really large farm, and we do a lot of different things to feed lots and lots of people, or to put clothes on people's back too. But today we're going to learn a little bit about how we handle or grow pumpkins, or handle our pumpkin patch. So plants need a few things. These are basic things that almost every plant needs. The first thing they need is water. Here at McLeod Farms, we use drip irrigation and sprinklers to water our fruits and vegetables. If you look at this picture here, you'll see this long pipe that goes all the way down the road. That's actually underground, and with this drip irrigation line, we can control the exact amount of water that each row gets, which is great because we live in the sand hills and water seeps through our soil pretty quickly. So it's really important that we can control our water. This also helps us conserve water, so we don't want to waste water that we don't need. So with this drip irrigation, we can control how much water we use. That way we're not wasting it. The second thing we need is sunlight. You know, in South Carolina, it's hot and we get a lot of sunlight. That's actually great for a pumpkin patch because the pumpkins are growing through the summertime. So during long summer days, when you're out there celebrating the 4th of July, that sunlight is providing the warmth to keep our pumpkin plants growing. The third thing we need is food. When the soil needs help to make plants grow, we use fertilizer to add nutrients to our pumpkin patch. So it's kind of like you eat different healthy foods to make you grow nice and strong. This fertilizer that we use also has different things in there, like vitamins and nutrients to help our plants grow big and healthy. So pollinators are very important also to McLeod Farms. We actually love bees, even though they're not your best friends, probably on the playground. Here at McLeod Farms, we actually invite the bees to our farm. Bees and other pollinators carry pollen from plants to plants to help farmers produce their fruits and vegetables, like our beautiful pumpkins. This is one of the most interesting facts I've ever heard, but bees pollinate about 90% of the world's nutrition supplies. So we are very grateful for the bee. The next thing I want to talk about is how pumpkins come in all different shapes and sizes. They're called varieties. So variety just means that it changes a bit from object to object. It's a variety of something. It's kind of like when you go into the grocery store. Is there just one color of apple? No, there's red ones, green ones, gold ones. So just like apples and other fruits and vegetables, pumpkins come in all shapes and sizes or varieties. Here I have pictured a few varieties that we have in our pumpkin patch. We have warty pumpkins out there. We have blue dolls that actually have a teal color. Our Turk's turban is kind of like a gourd. This reminds me of Thanksgiving. We have New Moon, we have some Autumn Buckskin, and just your classic orange rave orange pumpkin that we have there for your jack-o'-lanterns. When we go out onto the pumpkin patch in a little while, you'll get to see all these different varieties. Just like how I was talking about the water and how we like to conserve it, we also do a little recycling here at McLeod Farms. When you go out into our pumpkin patch, a lot of people look around and like, what are all these dead plants doing out here? Well, that's actually how we recycle here at McLeod Farms. We actually plant our pumpkin seeds in July between dying strawberry plants, so we're able to reuse the plastic covering, the plastic weed coverings. So as you can see in this picture here, it's our pumpkin patch before we plant our pumpkins. Then we go in and punch a new hole and plant a pumpkin seed in that hole. It's actually great too because the decaying strawberry plants improve the soil for our pumpkins by adding nutrients. This also helps prevent the buildup of pests and diseases in the soil. Pumpkins like to spread out, so we give them lots of space for the growing vines. I'll see you in the patch next. We rode the wagon and we've made it out to our pumpkin patch. As you can see, the pumpkin patch stretches out over about 13 acres of land, and we have about 14 different varieties of pumpkins out here. So you may remember when we talked about varieties, that means that we have 14 different kinds that all have different shapes, sizes, colors. So it's an adventure to come out here and pick your own pumpkin. You can see here I have, what variety? The Magic Wand variety. This is a pretty orange pumpkin with not too deep of ribbings on the side. I think this is also a cooking pumpkin. So what do you think about eating pumpkins? Who likes eating pumpkins? Yeah, maybe. Maybe you've had some pumpkin seeds covered in a little bit of cinnamon and brown sugar. Or maybe you've had a pumpkin pie where someone's made pumpkin puree out of your pumpkin that you picked. You know, and I think some of the kids' favorite things to do maybe is to paint it or to make a jack-o'-lantern. So we're going to take a quick walk through the patch really quick and see how many different kinds of varieties that we can find. We've come upon a white pumpkin variety. You see we've picked a few here along the row. This is called the Spectre variety. It is a white pumpkin, and it's also known as a warty pumpkin. If you can see, there are some warts on that pumpkin. It's one of my favorite ones for Halloween, It kind of reminds me of a witch's pot or something like that. So I think that one's really unique as well. All right, guys, we've come to our Turk's Turban patch. And this is the one that reminds me of Thanksgiving. You can see this is a small green one. I'm sure it'll turn a little bit more orange and get a little bit bigger than that. But that's one of the smaller ones. Let's see if we can find maybe a bigger one in this patch. A little bit larger Turk's Turban and one that's really orange in color. So there it is. Hey guys, while we're out here at the pumpkin patch, I thought I'd show you the little tiniest baby pumpkin there. I had to pull back one of the leaves, but you can see one of the flowers is wilting at the top, and that green bulb that's down at the bottom will be a pumpkin in probably just a few weeks. While I'm out here, I was trying to catch some of the bees in action. I saw some of them before, so we can try to find some now. All right, guys, as we were out here, we noticed some bees pollinating these pumpkin flowers. I don't know if you can see him in there or not. There he goes. One of my all-time favorite pumpkins here is the porcelain doll variety. It has a very smooth outside, very unique color, kind of a pinkish orange. Very pretty for fall decorations. And that concludes our pumpkin virtual field trip. Thank you so much for coming to McLeod Farms today. We hope you learned a little bit more about how pumpkins grow from little tiny white seeds into big orange pumpkins, about how we farm here at McLeod Farms and what we grow, and how we have all different types of pumpkins. So we hope you're able to pick a pumpkin this fall, and maybe we'll even see you at our family farm.